What's going on, everyone? So yesterday we got news about Mark Walter taking over as majority owner of the Los Angeles Lakers. And this is huge, right? Because the Lakers now have the deep pockets that they've lacked in previous years. Now, I do want to say that this isn't something that I think is going to heavily impact the Lakers right now. Like, I don't think this is something that oh, now Lakers are going to go get Kevin Durant, do all this other stuff. And I don't think it's going to be anything like that. But it helps in the long term, just growth and development of the organization as a whole, right? Now you have the pockets to get the best trainers and medical equipment and, all the things to make us one of the top, if not the top organizations in all of basketball, which we should be, right? Lakers made it a big apparent last offseason to revamp and create the training and the health and the medical and all that stuff, right? They wanted to be the best. You heard a lot of, hey, we want to be the top of the top as far as player development, player health, right? Which is something that should have always been a thing. And kind of makes sense now because supposedly this was years in the making. This was years in the works. This wasn't something that just happened overnight where Mark was like, oh, I'm just going to, buy the Lakers tonight, right? Like this was something that was, progressing in this direction, which, now you see the finances and the money, right? So I am really excited for that element of it. I'm really excited for that. It'll also help in retaining and paying tax and stuff like that for the Lakers. Obviously, the NBA isn't the MLB where you can just spend and spend and spend and spend, right? You're still going to have to follow, the new CBA and the apron tiers and all that stuff. But for example, something like an Alex Caruso isn't going to happen again, right? Where Genie didn't want to pay and pony up what it would have cost to keep Alex Caruso as well as paying in the tax. And they were like, well, we got THT and he can be that replacement. And we saw how that worked out. And we see what Alex Caruso's doing. Where a guy like Mark, now you can go to him and be like, hey, we want to keep, Dalton Connect. We'll just use him as an example. Hey, we need to pay Dalton Connect. This is his price. This is what he's doing. We need him type thing. And he's going to be like, is it worth it? Is it worth going to the tax for it? Yes or no? Yes. Keep him, pay him. Give that, pay that man his money, right? So to me, I'm excited for that. I'm excited to finally have the finances in that side. I also am glad personally that he's allowing Genie and Rob Pelinka to handle things for the next few years, right? Couple things about that, because I know some people are just going to immediately be like, absolutely not, fire Rob, get rid of Genie, all that stuff. And look, Genie, I've had a lot of complaints about her basketball-wise. She is excellent. As the governor, makes all the sense in the world, right? She is excellent at the business side of things. She is excellent at running and operating the Lakers. It's the basketball side of things that ideally she stays out of, right? Because she just hasn't made the best decisions in that regard. Now, as far as Rob Pelinka goes, I've done multiple deep dive videos into the pros and cons of Rob Pelinka, so I'm not going to get too heavy into it in this video, but this is the first year where we're going to get to see what can he do by himself. He is officially the president of basketball operations. Now you might be thinking, Tyler, he's always been the president of basketball operations. No, he was the vice president of basketball operations. Genie was operating as the president, right? So that's why you saw Genie vetoing and, basically saying, no, don't go do this. I want you to do that. And Rob having to listen to Linda and Kurt Rambis and all this other stuff, right? So I am glad that this will be the first year we're going to get to see what can you do as the GM and president of the Lakers, right? This is going to be the first. Again, he has not been perfect. He has a lot of flaws, but a lot of the stuff that people complain about Rob Pelinka with wasn't even Rob Pelinka, right? Again, the Russell Westbrook situation wasn't Rob Pelinka, right? Him then trading Russell Westbrook and Genie vetoing that trade, which I still stand by. We might have had a championship had that Buddy Hield and Miles Turner trade went through, but then had to go and fix it again, right? Now, again, he's been very flawed. He's made decisions, particularly with second round picks, right? The contracts giving players player options that you should never give guys player options. I mean, they had to create a rule It's a Rob Pelinka rule, literally, because of how poorly Rob Pelinka handled, undrafted and, second round draft picks. So again, Rob Pelinka has not been great in many ways, but he has built a championship contender and won a championship, which there's a lot of GMs that have been in the office for 20 plus years that have never done that, right? And you see teams cycling through GMs just to get one. So he does have that under his belt. But the other big thing besides Rob and Jeannie is my big fear is new owner syndrome, right? It's a very big thing. It's a very real thing. Look at Matt Ishbia and the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix had a championship contender. All they had to do was make small minor tweaks and they would have been right there and maybe even have already won an NBA championship, right? Because you had Devin Booker, right, and Kevin Durant with DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul. Okay, you probably had to trade DeAndre Ayton because of that, but you didn't need to go get, a Nurkic. You didn't need to go and trade Chris Paul to go get Bradley Beal. You get the new owner syndrome where they look at they want the sexy names, right? They want the names on the back of the jersey rather than what is best for this team. And you get a guy in Matt Ishbia who comes in and thinks like, if we have 3 stars, we're going to win and we're going to be really great. And even if we don't win, we're going to have a chance to win. It doesn't work out that way, right? We've seen that. I want the owner, which I have full confidence that that'll be the case, right? Given, what we see with the Dodgers, right? I want an owner that understands the Lakers' history, that understands we don't play for second round exits. We don't play for conference finals. We don't play to even make the NBA finals. We play to win NBA finals. We play for NBA championships and doing whatever it takes in order to do that, right? Jerry Buss understood that. Jerry Buss was willing to pay and do whatever it took in order to win. And every decade we won, and we won multiple championships, right? So again, you get a guy in Jerry Buss, we need to continue that legacy, right? Jeannie Buss, she got a championship. Great job. But the big hiccup and hurdle was the pockets, right? They're one of the poorest ownerships in basketball. Now, it's like this billionaire's poorer than this billionaire, right? So it's one of those things. But the reality is, compared to some of these other organizations, and you're the Lakers, you're talking about one of the biggest name brands in all of sports, right? One of the biggest markets in all of sports. You need the deep pockets. And now the Lakers have the deep pockets to go and compete with anybody. Now they're not going to lose some of these races for players. And you're going to have players that are going to want to go that maybe didn't want to go previous. Why? Because they're going to look at it and go, well, now I have an owner that can spend. And now I have an owner that will do whatever it takes in order to bring me a championship. I mean, Luka Doncic, see him and how excited he is and all that stuff, right? That was huge for Luka. But I'm okay with Mark kind of being the money man for a little bit, right? Because I don't think anything changes particularly this season. I think all of the moves that the Lakers make, all would have been moves that the Lakers made regardless, right? Like, I don't think like now that the Lakers went and made this trade, now they're going to go get in the Kevin Durant race and all this, or at least I hope not, right? I think, it'll still be the same thing. Though, it'll be a Nick Claxton and Andrew Wiggins or whatever, right? But I could see maybe some of the minor things changing, right? Like I could see, hey, if we make this move, it would put us in the second apron, which means we have to pay the tax, where, the new owner might go, it's fine, just do it, right? Like certain little key things I could see maybe changing. But for the most part, I think things will be normal. But I like that Rob Pelinka and Jeannie Buss are going to be at the helm, so we don't have to worry about that new owner syndrome, or hopefully not. Because my fear is Mark comes in and he wants to win, which is great. Even Matt Ishbia, great. There's a lot of owners in the league that are okay with being mediocre and just selling tickets, right? So, I credit Matt Ishbia in wanting to be and contend and win a championship. I love that. It's what every owner should be like. But he got a little overzealous. And that happens usually when a new owner takes over. The good thing is that he was already a minority holder right? So it's not something where he's coming in and like, oh, now I own the Lakers. Like, it's not like a kid in a candy store, right? It's not like I come in and buy the Lakers. I'm like, I own an NBA team, right? Like, let's go. Who do I want, right? Like, it's not one of those things. It's, hey, he understands the direction. He understands the course. He's had these conversations, right? Like, he knows what the deal is already. So, hey, you guys execute your plan, right? You need a check, call me. I gotcha. No problem. That's where the Lakers really benefit, right? But again, I don't want and my big concern is, now let's go sell the farm for, a Kevin Durant, or let's go try to go get the, Trae Young because he's a big name, and it's like Trae Young and Luka are never going to work, right? Like, that's my fear. We cannot get new owner syndrome. Stay the course. You know what this Lakers team needs, because we all know what this Lakers team needs. It's very obvious and apparent. Stay the course. Do what you got to do. Go get the pieces. But let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. If you enjoy these types of videos, truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.